Riley had always thought her emotions were there to guide her, to protect her, to make sense of the chaos of growing up. What she didn't realize was that some emotions could turn against her, and once they did, there was no going back. It began innocently enough. Riley, now a teenager, had started feeling strange lately, like there was something wrong inside her mind. Joy wasn't as vibrant as she used to be. Her golden glow had dimmed, and she often sat in the corner of headquarters, staring into the distance. Sadness was everywhere, her presence smothering the room like a thick fog. Even anger and disgust weren't their usual selves. They seemed quieter, as though something larger loomed over them. Fear was the first to notice it. "There's something watching us," he whispered one day, his voice trembling. The others scoffed, brushing it off as just another one of fear's paranoias. But then the lights in headquarters began flickering. Shadows danced along the walls, but there was no source, no explanation. One day, a crack appeared on the console, the very heart of Riley's emotional core. At first, it was barely noticeable, just a hairline fracture. But as the days went by, the crack spread, and dark mist began seeping through. No one knew what it was, but it felt alive. "Who did this?" Anger roared, slamming his fists against the console. But no one had an answer. The mist grew thicker, and soon, the bright orbs of Riley's memories began to dim, their once vivid colors fading into grayscale. The emotions were powerless to stop it. One by one, they began to disappear. Disgust was the first. The others found her green light snuffed out, her form twisted into an unrecognizable shape, before she was dragged into the mist. Then came anger, who fought valiantly but was no match for the unseen force. His fiery glow extinguished as he was pulled screaming into the darkness. Joy and sadness clung to each other, their fear palpable. "We have to protect Riley," Joy said, but her usual confidence was gone, replaced with despair. Fear paced back and forth, his eyes darting to every corner of the room. And then the shadow appeared. It didn't have a face or a form. It was a mass of writhing darkness, shifting and twisting, taking on shapes that defied comprehension. Its voice was a whisper, soft yet deafening. "You think you control Riley? She belongs to me now." Joy stepped forward, her dim glow flickering like a dying candle. "You can't have her. Riley is ours to protect." The shadow laughed, a cold, hollow sound that sent chills through them. "You failed her. That's why I'm here. I am everything you've ignored, her fears, her doubts, her insecurities. I've been growing, feeding on every moment you turned away. And now, I'm all that's left." Fear tried to run, but the shadow engulfed him, leaving nothing behind. Joy and sadness huddled together, their lights dimming as the shadow closed in. In the real world, Riley sat alone in her room, her face blank. The vibrant spark in her eyes was gone. Her parents knocked on the door, but she didn't respond. Inside her mind, there was only darkness. The console was shattered, the memory orbs drained of color. And in the center of headquarters, the shadow sat on a twisted throne, its formless mass pulsating with every beat of Riley's heart. It was in control now. Riley wasn't Riley anymore. She was an empty shell, her emotions consumed by the thing that lurked in the darkest corners of her mind, and no one could save her.